Good morning, and welcome to Don Mountain. It's good to see such a big crowd of people here, especially all these new faces. I'm Janet Montez Diaz, and I'm a member of Don Mountain. I've been coming to Don Mountain for about 5 years. Actually, it's going to be 6 years in November. And I really feel that Don Mountain is a very important part of my life. I've been pursuing a spiritual path for many years. I'd say about more than 20 years. I was doing meditation on my own. I was doing yoga. I was reading books about esoteric spirituality. But I really feel that these last 5 years have been really, it's been such an improvement to my spiritual development. I've really gained so much more than what I've done in the past 20 years. And it's not only been in the spiritual sense, but also in every aspect of my daily life. I feel that I'm less stressed out. I don't get as angry or as depressed as I used to. I feel more compassion towards others. I feel that I'm open to new possibilities. I have more time to accomplish things in my life. And basically, I feel that I'm just more at peace and content, and I live my life with an open heart. And I realize that there's just about everyone can benefit from the teachings that are given here in Don Mountain. These teachings are timeless and universal teachings, and they help us to cope with our daily lives, and at the same time, they offer a spiritual path that brings us to the highest spiritual attainment that mankind can have. And it really depends on where you are in your life and what you feel will benefit you the most at your point in life. So that's why I gladly come and volunteer and tell everyone about all the good things that Don Mountain has to offer. And none of this would be possible without our teachers, our guiding teachers. So I'd like to introduce you now to Anne and Harvey Arneson, and they will speak about Don Mountain.
Okay. Indeed, welcome. Thank you for coming. We're really happy to see you all here. We love welcoming people to Don Mountain. And Harvey and I started Don Mountain in 1997. And if you asked us why, and if I were to boil it down to one word, I think I would say we started Don Mountain out of gratitude to our teachers. We had the fortune to study with the first generation of Tibetan masters to come out of Tibet starting in the 70s. We also studied with other Buddhist teachers in India, and it's been a joyous and tremendously fulfilling part of our life's journey to participate in those traditions. And so when we came to Houston, we just wanted to share it because there wasn't at that time much of any really availability, at least for the Tibetan tradition in Houston. So it's been a heart service for us to begin Don Mountain, and we couldn't do it without people like Janet and our wonderful board. Some people are here from our board, and you'll meet them. And really a community has gathered that has made this possible, and we are here to welcome you to our community to participate in any way that you would like. Janet mentioned stress. I think that's an issue for many of us, and certainly in the traditions that we have trained in, there is a tremendous art for cultivating calm, being present. Being present means being present to your life, which is a great thing since our life is something very, very precious, being present to the other people that you love in your life, to whatever happens in your life. So we consider this a life skill. And since we have been blessed to receive so much teaching in this area, we like to share that. And we share it with everyone. We consider it a life skill, so whether you are participating deeply in another religious tradition or in no religious tradition, we welcome you to bring this artfulness into your own life. And if you should wish at some point to be part of a Tibetan traditional type of training, we also offer that. So our doors are wide open to whatever people feel we really want to be of service, and whatever will serve you, this is what we like to offer. We have the Sunday meditation, which hopefully you'll have time to taste, starting at 11 today, is every Sunday, and it's open to everyone. For people who would like to learn a little bit more about these practices and some of their background in Asia and in Buddhism, we have classes on Tuesdays, the first and third Tuesdays of each month. And then for people who would like to go a little deeper and attend some of our classes, we have occasional weekend retreats. And we have a children's program, which is right now meeting upstairs. And you may see them trickle down in a little while. And that's something new for us, and we're very happy to be able to offer that.
Good morning. It's delightful to see everyone. I understand we've got maybe two large clumps of people, one from a Zen group and one from a Christian church here this morning. I'm very tempted to ask who's who, but I'm not going to. Except I know this man with this grayish-blue thing is from the Christian church. It's a joke. So, we have quite a rich palette of offerings, and they really do span from Sunday meditation, which is very, very simple, and that is open to everyone and is very, very accessible. Tuesday nights are a kind of halfway house of material, which is both really informed by sort of modern psychological science and emotional science, and also traditional Buddhist practice. It occurs to me, since I don't know that you guys don't know us, but both Anne and I have PhDs in Buddhist studies, and we both know Tibetan. I also know Sanskrit and Pali, which are the languages of India, and I also am a psychotherapist. So Anne is currently translator for Adzon Rinpoche, who is a teacher who's in Tibet. But when he comes, she's one of his main translators, and I'm a sort of third-tier translator when necessary. But we also inform what we offer here by modern psychological understanding. And so, and both Anne and I happen to be rather voracious readers and learners, so whatever's coming out by way of either modern scholarship and practice in Buddhism, and whatever's happening in terms of Buddhism in the West, Anne is very, very attuned to. She's very, very active in sort of the teacher circles of modern Western teachers. And I'm very, very involved with constantly learning about what's new in neuroscience and psychotherapy. So one of the biggest bugaboos that we all carry in the West is self-hatred and self-criticism. And when most people get involved with spirituality or religious practice, one of the real big issues is people are always judging themselves by how they're behaving and how they're performing, even when they're in a path which is oriented towards compassion and awareness and kindness. But it's amazingly challenging for all of us today in this modern world to really care for ourselves. And so we really pride ourselves and take a lot of effort at understanding that whatever it is we may be offering or telling people, we have to be very, very careful that people don't filter this into a kind of a predisposition for not taking care of themselves and actually criticizing themselves. So when we teach something like meditation, we're always very gentle and encouraging and supportive, and part of what we're trying to do is to create a community where people can be of support to one another and be understanding of one another. And we, of course, are also human, so occasionally we slip. But really, we're trying to create a community here which is oriented towards deep, deep understanding. The Tibetan tradition has an amazing lineage of practices for opening up who we are and how we can actually enhance kindness towards one another. And so Anne and I are very, very much oriented towards sharing that. We have a retreat coming up on the weekend of the October 19th, 20th, and 21st, which would be available for newcomers if you're interested in immersing yourself in a 3-day program from Friday through Sunday of practice. And we do have a children's program that's going on right now upstairs, which is a new thing. And we're constantly evolving. This is not a static organization, but as more of you come in, we will be changing, I'm sure. And we will have our meditation at 11, probably be the easiest way to find out a little bit more about what it's like to sit and do and be quiet with us together. And so we would encourage you to stay for that if you have the time. And we'd look forward to seeing you. You'll be on our mailing list. You'll hear what's happening. From time to time, we have special educational events, and from time to time, we have Tibetan teachers who come through, which is a very, very special opportunity to see people from another culture and the way they teach a Buddhist practice. Do you have anything to add?
We'd like to open this space for any questions you may have. We only have time for 2 or 3 questions, but if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask.
Don't be shy. Yeah, Gabriel. Would you wait for the... Thanks.
I was hoping maybe you could share with us what some of the practitioners are what are the biggest challenges to meditation? You know, when someone comes and they want to learn how to meditate, they truly want to get into it, what do you hear being the biggest challenges that a new practitioner faces when they first embark on this journey?
It's a great question. I'll say the 2 that come to my mind. Maybe you can say 1 or 2 that come to your mind. The first is the wrong assumption that if a person gets a technique, that the minute they apply that technique, their mind should be absolutely silent and quiet and peaceful. Meditation is a process of, the way we teach it, cultivating awareness. Long term, as that awareness is cultivated, there is a gradual process of the mind becoming more settled. But most people are pretty impatient in our culture, and they do have the impression that, much like a pill, the minute I take meditation, pop it in, fizz, 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 I should be quiet. So there's that, and the other is our allotment of time in the modern situation is really, really sort of strange and pressured. And, if you were to see the way a traditional Tibetan lived, there's time, surpluses of time. But most people, if you even say, can you find 10 minutes to meditate, will find it almost impossible to imagine. So that really dedicating some time consistently to meditation would be the second major obstacle that I would say. I don't know what you would say.
Both of those are very significant, and I think what underlies the inability to find time, and what also underlies the inability sometimes to be patient and caring with oneself and realize that it's a process, is perhaps not fully understanding how tremendous our potential actually is. And we are very caught up in identifying with, the surfaces of our lives usually, and that's what gets reinforced by our culture. But when we start to get a glimpse, even just a little taste of what an ocean of possibility we actually are, and that this is true of every one of us, then it becomes easier. We understand the value of what we're doing. And we can understand the value of what we're doing on many terms, in terms of how it's good for our health, how it affects our brain, how it affects our relationship with others, how it affects how we feel. And when we really understand the value of that, and that in fact we are capable of this transformation, which however will take time, but we definitely have that capacity, I think when people can begin to see that, then the rest becomes easier. And that is a bit of a challenge, to really believe that.
Good question.
Thanks for that
Great
question. Yeah.
There's a question in the back all the way over there.
Would you wait 1 moment? Thank you.
I think they have all in common suffering, and I believe attachment is a big part of that, is pretty much a universal belief in attachment, and can you say a few words about that? I asked myself, I think there's a lot of healthy attachments, but what would a Buddhist say are not the healthy ones?
You're talking to the right man here. He wrote a book about this.
Yeah. We have about 3 weeks. Attachment is sort of an interesting word because it does have a kind of a positive and a negative connotation. Actually, there was just a recent post quoting His Holiness the Dalai Lama even saying, yes, there's sort of a kind of healthy attachment and an unhealthy. So, in psychology we talk about attachment with respect to what a parent has for a child and what an adult has for an adult. I mean, the human bonds of relation and love are called attachment. Actually, there was an interesting article that I saw that said, really, we're talking about love, but, since we're sort of scientists, we don't want to use the word love. It's a little bit too emotional. So they chose the word attachment. So healthy attachment really is what occurs between a parent and an infant. The appropriate support, serving as a site of safety and security and communication and attunement, all of those are healthy, appropriate, necessary for all of us in growing up. The kind of attachment that is talked about in Buddhism, I like there's sort of a metaphor for what it is like, and that is it's really a kind of fixation or stickiness on things, really getting sort of stuck on things, and sort of grasping on and holding on tightly. And the metaphor that I love for that is that of a piece of raw meat on a hot skillet without any oil. And the way that piece of raw meat on a hot skillet will just sort of get stuck. And so it's that attitude of mind that either holds on to ourselves or holds on to others or holds on to objects in a exceedingly sticky way. And that, in the Buddhist perspective, gets us unflexible. And, rather than seeing this from the outside as a kind of judgmental, sort of prescriptive idea, I think it's most important for every person themselves to begin to be very, very sensitive to what's going on in their own heart and mind and body, and to see, well, when I look in my Volvo, is it with an attitude of open appreciation and love for the workmanship, or is it like, I gotta have my Volvo? And you can feel that. And so ultimately, I think rather than having some tradition tell us attachment is good or attachment is bad, I think it's for us to start looking at our own experience and see how experience affects us and how indeed we're relating to phenomena in our lives. One of the realities is most of us are so numb that we may be very, very attached and not even be aware of it. So one of the things that can occur in meditative practice is that you really start becoming a little bit more aware of the impact of your own emotions on who you are and how you are, and you become more sensitive to what is going on. So before, maybe it didn't even occur to you how something like anger or greed was impacting you internally. But as you start meditating, some of these things become much more aware to you, and you start making your decisions not based on an external judgment, but on internal sensitivity.
We have one more person that's going to come and give a testimonial now.
Good morning. My name is Gloria, and I have been coming to the mountain for the last year. I came here because I have a sister and she got very ill, and within a month she passed away. And as I was experiencing that, I was reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and that experience put me very much in touch with impermanence, with the value of life, and I felt that the book helped me a lot to be with my sister, to be close to her, and also to reflect about my life. I was living in Miami Beach at that time and working, and I decided to move here to Houston, where my daughters were. And as soon as I came, I looked for a Tibetan temple, and I found that this temple was here and was 6 blocks from my home. So I say, let me go there, and I came. And when I did come here, I found the perfect place for my spiritual development. I started coming, I came to retreats, started coming to the meditations, and more I got in touch with myself, knowing more and more about me through the teachings. And through meditation, I have become more peaceful and more grateful for life. And I continue to come because our great teachers that have so many years of experience, I trust the teachings. I feel in the place, I feel that I am constantly fed, and I just want to continue deepening in my awareness, my attention, and valuing every moment of my life. So I learn how to do that day by day when I come here. Welcome.
Well, we've come to the end of our short program. We'd like you to stay. You're invited to stay for our Sunday meditation, which is at 11. And you can, in the meantime, you can have some snacks that are in the back and talk with any of us that have this name tag and Harvey. And hopefully we can answer some questions.
And we'd like to thank you, Janet, for your steadfast organization of this and making it possible, and everyone who has helped, Gloria and Sharon and JC filming. And Claire over there, by the way, sometimes teaches a Monday evening Mindfulness for Everyone class, but she's busy working on her dissertation now, so I'm not sure when she's going to do that next. And we're interested, if you have indicated that you would like to hear from us, you will. And part of that is because we want to hear from you what what your needs are, what kind of, with what hopes and aspirations you might consider being part of our community, which is what we're welcoming you into today. So thank you, and enjoy snacks, talk, and we'll gather for some meditation at 11 in about 15 minutes. Not 15, yeah.